Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault 3.5 League, Season number 1, Round number 2, here at Suzuka. My name is King-Kodiak, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary remarks, always happy to say, the Lord God himself, it is Stevie SQ.
Hello, thank you for welcoming me along again. It's always a pleasure to sit alongside you and talk over these races. And for the second week in a row, we're at this amazing racetrack, Suzuka.
Yes, we had the Formula 3s come to us in this circuit last time out, and wow, what a pair of races that league generated. Some rather death-defying moves over the curbs and some unusual parking as well. So we'll look to see if these monstrous V8 Renaults generate the same kind of mishaps that we saw in its smaller brethren. 60-minute race will be following the qualifying session. We're in the tail end of the practice session at the moment. 17 cap limit, same as 17 incident limit, beg your pardon. As you can see. So let us see where we stand. Well, we're still in practice at the moment, but it's Valchiavi that is leading the way at the moment. Charlie Summers too, Ronnie Osterkamp, who fought Valtteri Alander to quite an epic battle last time out at the Nürburgring in these fine cars. So we'll look to see who will reign supreme around this twisty circuit. Very different circuit here in Suzuka than we had in the Nürburgring last time out. So we'll see who reigns supreme this time.
Absolutely. From what I've been told, these cars are still that sweet spot that some of these higher end drivers in a championship, like we saw with René and we saw with Valtteri last week, they're still unlocking that little bit more potential, but I've been told that the grid should be a little bit close. So hopefully we can have a bit more of a fight up front than just those two, although it was a masterclass that they put on last week.
Oh yeah, absolutely it was, and they just kind of broke away, and they had a great scrap to themselves, but it really was to themselves. It was to the exclusion of all else. That particular battle occurred. Now we have got 25 drivers with us for this particular event. As you can see at the top of the list is currently Timu Valchiavi. I have been trying to rehearse his name because I really did struggle with his particular name last time out. Charlie Summers currently in second on the board. He's in the pits. The cars are white because I'm just refreshing the skins to make sure that I have the correct colours applied to the correct people. That will correct itself as time goes on. René Osterkamp currently in the third spot. He is not on circuit. Christoph Holstein, however, has just stopped. That was rather ungracious of him. The practice session is about to come to an end, so most people will probably jump back to the pits before long. Kimi Larsen is with us as well. Garma 199 currently in 5th position, 139.402. I didn't actually manage to catch the previous times in the practice sessions. Are we still looking at the same kind of guard, Stevie?
I can't honestly say. I don't remember having time to look.
You didn't look either.
No. I normally would jump in with them on a Thursday and get some feedback and stuff, but I didn't have time, unfortunately, this week. Just a couple of things to point out. One, the timer says 30 minutes. We've had a little bit of trouble with the session, so this is a different session. So after 10 minutes, the session will be skipped forward, so we will advance to the race as normal. This isn't an exceptionally long qualifying session. And secondly, we actually only have 24 drivers because I'm a pillock and I joined the session as a driver, not as a spectator.
So if you see Stevie's name
so you'll see my name, but I'm not driving. I'm not that talented.
You lie, sir. I have commentated on you in the GTE League.
Yes.
I know your capabilities. You are far too modest.
Yes, but I can't drive this car at all, really. It's very far too much for me, and I still can't talk and do that as not like this. It's easy to go, oh no, but it's another thing to actually pay attention to what you're doing. A point on the first round, by the way. Soren Kroos, I believe, finished 8th in that race. He got disqualified.
Oh no.
because he did a little thing and forgot to do his mandatory pit stop.
I did wonder whether people were going to fall for that, but
yes, he forgot.
A couple of names that we haven't seen previously in this series. Josh Ladd, car number 43, is one of them in the red race spot coloured car. Now, and also a new entrant to this league, Sergio Fletcher, car number 4. That will colour itself. There we go. So he too is wearing that yellow livery on his skin. Now, again, we're looking at 3 time laps for our drivers, and no more. As you can clearly see, they are sharing these field with only themselves. We can, of course, hear the various car sounds going on, but they can't claim to be held up and blocked or what have you.
Well, just to point out, as we're going along in this session, it's a lone qualifying session, as you're pointing out, so you get the track to yourself. Because I've registered as a driver, I can't see anybody. So just be careful on the questions you throw my direction for this qualifying session.
I will do my best.
Thank you.
And if you earn any incidents, I'll be amazed.
Yeah. From what I've heard from the drivers, this track is a little bit easier than it was last week in the in the Formula 3. See, I did it then.
I'll do it as well.
Some areas of concern. The left-hander going into the S's. Apparently, the curb will kill you if you take a little bit too much. The hairpin is a nightmare. Castillo Triangle, bit of a nightmare as well. But the Degners apparently are a little bit better.
So essentially, it's coming out the slow corners that our drivers are most concerned about, and the reason for that is these things have a lot of horses that want to get down to the tarmac. Certainly in comparison to the Formula... I nearly did it myself there. I had to stop myself mid-sentence. But we are looking at René Oosterkamp, who was second last time out and currently sits in the second position behind Valchiavi. Let us ride on board with a lap around Suzuka as we come through the first turn. The double apex right-hander on the first, all running a little bit wide onto the grass, but still going through his lap into the S's very cautiously at the beginning of part of the S's. You need to keep the car very, very settled. One mistake and you are off into the dust. And we've discussed many a time how the incident limit for iRacing is fairly unforgiving. I wonder if René is just kind of backing off a little bit. He doesn't seem to be hammering it as much as I was expecting. But coming through the Degners now. Stayed away really from the first apex, just clips the second one. We saw a lot of trouble last week particularly at that second, the exit of the second apex. Even though the curb is actually worse on the first one, it was at the second one we saw more issues with people just trying to floor it too hard. Josh Ladd actually jumps up to second, demoting René Oosterkamp one position. Now flying through turn 12, heading towards Spoon. Catches the first part of the apex at turn 13. Now very steady through 14. Lets the car wander halfway over to the right. Absolutely fine. Floors it. There's a screaming car, then heads towards 130R. I've seen one driver say, if you can do this with DRS open at full crank, you're an absolute god and you deserve to win. I can absolutely imagine if you want downforce anywhere, it's particularly there. But of course, as soon as you shut the DRS, remember they only have 8 uses of the DRS throughout the entire race, not just lap, the entire race. Then, that's essentially wasted. Here comes Oosterkamp. Does he improve as he crosses the line? And does not. So I think he did indeed back off from that previous lap that we were on board with him. We'll see if he is able to find that extra couple of tenths to get to the top of the board. And our new entrant, Sergio Fletcher, and there he is. It's currently fourth. The top 3 separated by less than 3 tenths.
Yeah, it's looks like we've got some more competition up the sharp end. And Timo Valchiavi, he was running pretty well last week. Before a few incidents put him a little bit further down, but he is certainly fast. So it's good to see. It looks like René and is Valtteri here today? Yes, he is.
I was going to say, I'm sure I've seen his name.
So hopefully they will have a little bit more competition.
And the fellow Glacier Racing car of Valtteri Landa, car number 10, has yet to get a time on the board. Josh Ladd comes across the line again, slightly slower than his previous time, still has exactly a tenth to find. to dethrone Timu Vaikiavi. Where is he? He's just come through the hairpins. So about halfway through the lap for our current pole sitter. Most people on track at the moment. Kimi Larson in fifth. Patrick Kessler. He was not with us last time out, I don't believe. Car number 28. So
no, this is his first round, but he is a teammate to Tony Osterkamp for SimRC, and they have pretty much dominated the team's championship for the past few seasons in Formula Renault 2.0. So they are a formidable force.
Oh, look at our new pole man. It is, once again, Valtteri Alander. The top spot, 138.653. So he's got 1 3/4 tenths on Valchiavi, who is just finishing his lap. Does he improve? I don't think he does. He did! He's just taken the pole back again by 27 thousandths. That's his third and final timed lap. His day is done. I think that was Alander's first time lap, so he's still got time to reclaim that. Look at that, 27 thousandths of a second separating to the top two. Then it's 2.5 tenths to what is now Christoph Holstein, and Valtteri Alander actually stopped on track. So his day is done at the moment.
I can tell you that Valtteri Alander, that was his second lap. He got an incident point on his first one.
And Josh Ladd did not improve with that run and sits on the start-finish line. Not a particularly good place to sit. Kimi Larson is done as well. He's in 7th. Kerry Nolden? No, he's just coming back out of the pits again. Will he have time to... Just about, if he gets on with it.
I'll tell you a driver in trouble. It's Charlie Summers for Team AOR Blue. He has had 2 time laps.
Oh, he's spun.
Faded. He's just spun. That's his qualifying over then. That's his third lap, I guess. Because he's already tried 2 and both of them were invalid. So,
oh dear.
Oh dear.
But he started from the back last week, did he not? And he stormed through the field.
In the F3 for the sprint race he joined, he moved literally on that day, so it was very much a last minute join. But for the first round of this, he was running pretty well, but he spun very early on. It's maybe it's a part of a pact for Team AOR. Remember, 2 weeks ago, Kerry Nolden of Team AOR Orange didn't get a qualifying lap in. That start all the way back, finished brilliantly. But yes, it's maybe it's a thing.
Man, but it's adding to the challenge because they clearly feel they need more of it. Speaking of car 35, there he is, currently 9th, 139. Oh, no, just demoted by Dominic Gaidemeyer, who's crossed the line. A lot of the cars will initially appear white, but they will colour themselves correctly, and that's a CSR coloured car along with Christoph Holstein in third. Valtteri Alander is on circuit at the moment. There he is.
You can still continue to lap, but your laps just don't count.
Kerry Nolan comes in, so he will not be sending another time. Canoe Martinson's still going, though. He's still pushing. He's coming through Spoon now, so let us see. Can he improve? Currently 15th, 140.2. That was what he said last time around. Alander and Sarah Dove are the only people on track at the moment. Sarah Dove, how many laps has she done? 2, I believe? Can't see.
I can find out for you. She has done all 3.
Oh, so she's just out there for practice.
First one was a 32.0, second one was invalid, and the third was her 40.9.
Here comes Canoe Martinson. Does he improve? He does indeed. 39.8, jumps up to 13, right behind Evan Imre. All by bang on a tenth. So a bit of a gap for him to get towards the sharper end. And say Alander is still out there, but has already set his times. So yes, we should be looking at the complete grid, roughly as you see it on the left. The qualifying time allocation has elapsed, but as we have car on field, I think Sarah Dove's coming back into the pits. Yes, she is. So we just had confirmation from the race director that they are skipping the qualifying session forward.
Just a point on Matteo Coppola-Neri. Would be starting in 22nd. He's just said he's going to start from the pits because of connection.
But this is how our grid then sits, with Valchiavi taking the pole spot, Valtteri Alander 2, Holstein 3, Ladd 4. Osterkamp 5, Fletcher 6, Larson 7, Kessler 8, Gatorman 9, Nolden 10, Herman 11, Evan Imre 12, Martinson 13, Reed 14, Olsen 15, Lindstrom 16, Potter 17, Morick 18, Kreutz 19, Dove 20, Butelard 21. Coplaneri will be starting towards the back. That elevates Morris, Summers, and not Chambers, because Chambers accidentally joined as driver, as previously mentioned.
Oops.
Even the greats make mistakes.
It was all the panic because of all the issues going on. I was trying to help Phil, so yeah, I did it. Oops.
It happens to the best of them. Right, so our drivers now joining, as previously mentioned. Yeah, a bit surprising to find Osterkamp then a few positions down, considering how well he did last time out. But not every track suits every driver. Even though you're on the track on your own, doesn't mean you're guaranteed to have a clean run, as some of our drivers were still struggling a little bit. A good effort there from Holstein. Holstein didn't fare quite as well last time out. He was towards the sharper end, but faded a little bit, I believe, at Nürburgring. I did actually watch it back, and I've completely forgotten how most people did, unfortunately. Such is my age. The old grey cells aren't doing so well. We're just waiting for everybody to grid up then, and then we will get the race underway. Standing start, as you can see. Where is our poleman? There he is. All the pressure, of course, on him to do what he can then from that top spot. And waiting for Fletcher, Coplaneri and Morris to grid in.
Obviously, Coplaneri will be starting from the pit lane, so he's going to have to wait till everyone goes past the pit exit and goes through turn 1 before he's released. And he can't sit at the end of the pit lane either. He's sitting in his pit box. So he was 20 seconds, so his 20-second pit box is down, and then he can go. But he goes from his grid spot, pit box, sorry. So he's got a bit of a drive.
Yes, indeed he does. Right, we should be getting this underway. Oh, that camera's no good. Right then, it is in the hands of our Glacier Racing team, and away we go then. Who is going to get the best of the starts? Charging off away from their particular spots. That is, of course, Valkyrie and Alanda leading the way. Ladd and Holstein side by side coming through the first turn. Here they come then. Who is going to... We usually see some kind of issues going on, but looks like everybody has got through okay. So far so good. I'm not seeing anyone with a huge particular gap, except for Coplaneri, who, as mentioned, is starting from the pit lane. They're now weaving their way through the S's. Just people need to take their time. It's a long way to go. It's a 1 hour race that is going on, but it is so tempting just to put a wheel wrong, miss your braking point, because all the pressure's on you. The adrenaline is absolutely pumping. It does look like, oops, no, as soon as I say that, someone's gone. That's Kerry Nolden, I think.
It's Kerry Nolden and Stefan Herman.
Oh, that's an ugly looking car for Nolden. He is parked there. Oh, he's going again, but that's put him so far down the field. But the top guys look like they are still in their original positions. Valkyrie leads away.
That was a really good clean start, I must say. It's so easy to trip over the drivers here. But through turn 1, up through the S's, it was amazingly clean, and it looked great from the global camera I was watching from. Coplaneri is quite a few seconds still off the back of Nolden and Herman. Charlie Summers is already up to 17th, so he's had a great start.
And he lag disappeared then there. So there's Sarah Dove directly behind with a lot of pressure then from Butelar, Kreutz and Morris. And here comes Charlie Summers trying to make a move on Potter, coming to the outside of the first part of the Cassia Triangle. Does not quite make that stick then. And look at that. You've got the Glacier Racing guys slipstreaming one another down the right-hand side as we're looking at it. And then right behind that, you've got Josh Ladd, that's under a lot of pressure from Holstein and Osterkamp. And also Fletcher involved in that particular battle as well. Kester's just lost a position to Gaydemer. So Dominic Gaydemer now up to 8th position. Phil Reed right behind. Lindstrom.
I think Lindstrom's trying to go on the outside of Martinson.
Potter. It was Potter that is basically parked it on the first turn, so he's got to get back going again. But yeah, wow, look at that. It was the same as we saw last time out. We've got a breakaway at the front of 2 cars. This time it is Valkyrie and Alanda. But Ladd has got it all to do with the pressure right on here. If we look on his gearbox, that's exactly what he's got. Occupied here. Oh, look at Osterkamp trying to get on the inside of Christoph Holstein coming out of the hairpin. Doesn't quite get the move. Excuse me. Doesn't quite get the move done. Oh, Holstein then having a look. He's looking every single direction to get past Josh Ladd. Coming into Spoon, but no dice so far. That's Fletcher running a little bit wide. Fletcher's got a great inside seat. We get on the roll bar of car 4. That's what he can see, and Holstein is determined to do something about it. There he goes. On board with Osterkamp. Holstein's gone through. He's going to get that one done before they get to 130. What a great move then by the CSR car. But here comes René Osterkamp. Oh, dead. You can't make Casio Triangle 3 wide. Josh Ladd then dives on the inside rather, with the initial part of the Casio Triangle. Jumps back up to third. Here comes Osterkamp now in Holstein slipstream. Then there's Josh Ladd sticks very hard to the right hand side. Actually boxed in Osterkamp a little bit. Now René's looking to the inside of turn 1. Gets huge problem there for Holstein. Flown off the road. And that is a huge problem. A bit of a tap from behind. He's lost his rear wing. That is Holstein's day done.
Yeah, there won't be much coming back from that. He's carried it going. He landed on his wheels. He's going to keep going. No, he's gone back to the pits.
No.
That'll be an extensive pit stop if he manages to get back out.
And
very close racing though.
Yeah, so I was actually on board with Osterkamp at the point that happened. For a moment, there may well be argument of either lag or netgo there, because it didn't look like there was impact on Osterkamp's car. It almost looked like Holstein completely lost that of his own accord, but I'm sure there will be discussions and what have you about that one all. But look behind, that's Fletcher on the that's Larson on the back of Fletcher. Car 199 was having a look to try and make a move on car number 4. Then you've got Gadamer behind, with Kessler and Reed in short succession. So many cars bunched up. Evan Imre and Canoe Martinson are together. The AOR yellow cars, 147 and car 20 for 10th and 11th. But yeah, I'm keeping a very close eye on our Glacier Racing cars up front. Alanda's really piling the pressure on Valchiavi. He's going to have a move coming into the Casio Triangle, and his teammate may not choose to do so at the moment. Like I said, a long way to go. You can see the time in the top left is at 55 minutes still to do. But we will see then as the field continues what's happened to Canoe Martinson. He's made a mistake. He's lost a position to Gregory Olsen coming into the Casio Triangle. There's Charlie Summers now up to 13th from his original stop.
Ladd and Osterkamp side by side of turn 1, so to clear you off there.
No,
just
not
on the inside, he managed to hold it. That was very well defended. It looked like he got a bit of a wobble coming out of the final corner, which gave René the run. But if that was a DRS used by René, it didn't pay off.
That's the thing, though. René's obviously feeling he's got the pace, and he's staying right with Josh Ladd. What great defensive driving from car 43 to keep the field behind him. We know how quick the likes of René Osterkamp are. So, and that's a big group of cars that actually goes down to 9th. Patrick Kessler. We go to the chopper cam. Well, so if you go to the blimp cam, you'll pretty much see all of them. Oh, you would do if it wasn't staring at trees. So it's, again, as we said before, it's a big angle of cars, and again, Osterkamp.
Someone's off.
Oh, it's Fletcher. No! Oh no, that's gone horribly wrong for car 4. That's his day done. Oh well, let's have a look. How did he manage to do that? Oh, we need to go back slightly further than that, because let's have a look. Now all the way down to 23rd. So here comes this big pack of cars. It's Kimi Larson directly behind him at the time. Oh, just Kimi Larson out, didn't brake early enough and just sent him flying into the dust. Oh dear. That's there will be words said about that one. And I thought, oh look at this! Phil Reed, Erka Lindstrom, Canoe Martinson, all jostling for the same bit of space. Here comes Reed again. Our Pad Warrior coming from the outside of the Casio Triangle. There's Gadamer, who's had trouble. He was much further up than that last time we looked. Now down in 12th. And Valchiavi's lost the lead.
I think that was team orders.
Could well be.
It looks very much like a lift on Valchiavi's side.
Well, we have our first pitter probably scheduled. Kimi Larson's come in, probably with damage on his car. Quite a few people have pitted at the moment and probably will remain in the pits. Krutz is in as well. Kerry Nolden's been through the pits at some stage. So
that was after his lap 1
incident.
Immediately.
Morris is in. Larson is still in. Coplaneri is registered as having been through the pits. Oh no, what's happened to Phil Reed? Oh no! What has happened to him? He's wandered off the road on the exit of the S's. Let's just try and catch a replay of that. What happened to car 44. A lot of pressure on him as he's coming through the S's. Did he just get it wrong? It's very easy to do, especially in the... Yeah, he just pushed it too hard on the exit of the S's. And that's how much time it costs you. It is so, especially with the pack so heavily condensed, it's very easy to lose that position. But up front, our two Glacier Racing cars are 3.2 seconds ahead of now René Osterkamp. He has managed to clear Josh Ladd. Now, he's actually done it a little while ago. So, and look at the gap that Osterkamp has for himself. 1.5 seconds between the two. Evan Imre. Oh, wow. That was Charlie Summers jumping up into 7th. What a great run for him. And, that's another position being changed. That's Stefan Herman coming past Lubomir Morik. As they come into the Castillo Triangle now, there you see David Butelaar in hot pursuit as well. As always with these races, it's difficult to know where to look because there is potential going on everywhere. There is Charlie Summers with Evan Imre in hot pursuit. He's got Gregory Olsen now in his sights. What a great drive again for Charlie Summers, starting 24th. We're not even 10 minutes in. He's up to 7th.
Yeah, he's done this before. I've raced against him. He is lightning quick in those crucial opening laps when he needs to make those positions. He's exceptionally good at doing it, and he's certainly got enough pace to make that happen as well. Absolutely,
he does. So now the gap up front, 1.1 seconds between Landa and Valkjavi. And Holstein confirming it was a netcode problem that saw him spin off into the dust. There was too much damage on his car. What a great shame for Christoph Holstein. You're of course welcome to join us in the chat, sir, but a shame that we don't see you on track. But it looked pretty impressive, your spin, must be said. And wow, look at the gap between Summers and Imre. That's already a second. We get on the rollbar of car 350 as he looks to shape up a move on Gregory Olsen. That's the 6th position. Staying very much in the slipstream of the car ahead. As long as you're within about half a second, you'll get the best of it. Is he going to try and move on the inside 130? I know he backs out of that. Why is he so? But he's now floored it again. He's going to go over the inside of the Cassia triangle. Gregory Olsen staying to the racing line. Through goes Summers. Another amazing move, putting car 350 up to 6th.
That was great stuff. He didn't bother with this move at 130R. Instead, he tucked in behind, followed incredibly closely, and just finished the move off into the Casio Triangle. Lovely stuff. And I don't think he's finished yet.
Absolutely not. I mean, looking at his lap.
That last lap where he overtook someone was also his best lap of the race. And I think the second fastest lap of the race.
That's exactly what I'm looking at. The only man faster than Charlie Summers last time around was this man, René Osterkamp, who is absolutely closing in on the top two. He was 0.3 faster than the pair of them last time around. Both of the top two, Alanda and Valkjavi, lapping within the same 10th, 140.8. Osterkamp 140.5, Summers 140.6, and Summers is only 10 seconds off the leaders at the moment, so we've got plenty of time. We can maintain that particular pace. Again, we've said before that consistency is absolutely crucial when, particularly in cars that have a bit of a tendency to bite you. We sort of explained last week that it's really power out the slower corners, putting too much down, because you won't catch it, or you'll be very lucky to catch the slide if it does just let go. So control is absolutely crucial in these things. So one mistake can really be very, very costly.
Absolutely, and like we said last week, this track is unforgiving. There are runoffs, there's very generous runoffs at some corners, but it is a tough track. It is not one that will let you get away with too many mistakes.
Osterkamp gained another 0.4 on the top pair. Again, the top two are talking about consistency. Another lap where they're in the same 10th. 41.0 this time for our top pair. And what's happened to Osterkamp? Osterkamp's off! What's happened to him? He's pushed it too hard. What's happened to René Osterkamp? A rare mistake. I mean, again, you can see on the replay here, you can see the top two in his sights. Because he just pushed it too hard in the first turn. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. As soon as he was lucky to keep that out of the wall. As soon as the tail lets go, you can see he instinctively turned into the slide. Be no chance. There's just the raw power and momentum in these things. will just send you off into the dust. Osterkamp very lucky to keep that out of the wall, but he's now got Charlie Summers' company much earlier than he would have liked.
Absolutely, and we know how eager Charlie is to make up places, so he's sitting in a pound seat right now, and people are coming towards him.
Yeah, absolutely. He was welcoming any and all to that particular party. There you see right behind Olsen and Imre, not too far behind, less than a second between each car. And Erkin Lindström is a couple of seconds behind Imre. Knut Martinsen rounds out the top 10, but Martinsen's got company. There they are with that's Stefan Herman directly behind. Herman we saw involved in that lap 1 incident going off into the dust, so he's not a bad drive for him. He's back in his starting position at least, shaping up a move on Martinsen perhaps into 130R. Again, you've got to be pretty brave to do it. There in the background you saw Dove, Morik and Butelaar in a battle for 12th. Oh, and there goes Herman on the inside of the Casio Triangle. No, that one gets shut in his face. But again, not taking my eye too long off the battle up front. As Valkjavi, I think, yeah, as team orders has just said, they're just gapping each other at the moment. Again, within a 10th of each other last time around. And actually, Josh Ladd was lapping at near identical pace, within 4 thousandths of a second to Valkjavi last time around, but he's 5.1 seconds behind. Kessler is 2.8 behind Ladd in 4th position. Then you've got René Osterkamp, who's now given himself a little bit of a gap between himself and Summers. So as charging as Summers is, he may not be quite on Osterkamp's pace, but I think it's fair to say that René Osterkamp will catch the cars ahead again, and that is going to play, once again, pay dividends for Charlie Summers. Absolutely.
The only issue for Charlie at the minute is that this is kind of the pack he should have been in at the start. Everyone else he's passed, you would argue that he should have passed them with his pace. Now he's more on the same level as everyone around him, so it's going to be a little bit harder, I think, to get those passes. But yeah, I think René will be able to get. He might get a little help from his teammate, although they've fought on track before many a time. So I don't know. We'll see how willing Patrick is to let René go. Obviously, it's only a 6-round championship and there's no drop weeks. So with every point on offer, I don't know how hard Patrick will fight, but we will see, I'm sure.
Again, this is something else we highlighted. We're on board down in the cockpit with René Osterkamp, and you can see, especially with the sharp corners that we have in some of these turns, just how much the hands of the driver just completely obscure your view. So again, another opportunity to get it wrong, essentially, especially with the traction being so crucial out of the slower corners. You get it wrong again in these things, and well, René's already displayed what happens when you get it wrong. That last lap was the fastest lap of the race for René Osterkamp, 140.321. That was a good what was he, 5 tenths quicker than Valkjavi and 6 tenths quicker than Alander. So once again, on quicker than leader's pace. Charlie Summers only 2 tenths slower behind him. So he is staying right with Osterkamp. Osterkamp is essentially, if he doesn't make another mistake, he's going to drag Summers kicking and screaming all the way up to potentially the leaders. Kessler is going to have quite a hard job if he is choosing to keep Osterkamp behind, which, let's face it, you're not realistically going to keep a faster teammate behind, but you never know. Different teams, different ideas.
Absolutely. I'm so fascinated. It must be frustrating for René because he's clearly got the pace and he could see them. But that one mistake. But what is amazing with these drivers, and it's always impressed me, is you see a driver he's the fastest man on track. He's a multiple Formula Renault 2.0 champion, and he makes a mistake at turn 1. Me, that'd be like, okay, I'll back off. Oh no. He turns up next time round and attacks it at full force yet again, and then sets the fastest lap of the race. They just don't know, okay, I'll back off a little bit. No, I can do it. I know I can. I just got to commit. I just got it a little bit wrong.
Summers! Oh, Charlie Summers. That could have gone horribly wrong. I just suddenly sorry to cut you off again, Stevie, but replay of Charlie Summers coming into the Casio Triangle. Something went a little bit odd for you. I hope you weren't doing an Evan Imre. Oh, he did! It's exactly what he did. But what he did, he ended up facing the pit lane. So I'm not convinced he was actually looking to pit at that point. It was like, oh, well, I'm here. I'm facing the right way. I may as well. So,
yeah. At least he got that side of the barrier without If he'd gone past it, it'd have been more of a nightmare. But he decided a bit like Evan last week that now I'm here. I may as well pit. I've never seen it said before, and now I've seen it twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to make the... oh, there we go. The overlay was saying replay when it wasn't in replay. There we go. That's now fixed. But yeah, Evan Imre did better that by parking it backwards in the pit lane. That is going to be a difficult thing to better or repeat.
Yes, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in sim racing.
But interesting, Renault Scan 141.2 and nearly a full second slower that lap than his previous best, which was only a lap or so ago. So easy to...
I will say, when I watched the instant replay of Charlie, who was just behind Rene made a bit of a mess of the Casio triangle. He got the first bit a bit too much, which then got him a bit wobbly through the second bit, and then he got struck with power on the exit. With these cars, to be on the limit, you have to be properly going for it, and any kind of issue like that rolls on to the next corner, it costs you so much time. Oh no, why is Dominic Gaidemeyer in the pit lane? Why is he in the chat?
I was going to say, yep, we've just spotted him in chat. What has happened to car 37? I don't know, because I think...
I'll go and have a look.
I'm not sure I'm going to get a replay of him. No, unfortunately not. So, yeah, see if we can find out what has happened to... What's happened to René Osterkamp is still behind Kessler, but he has closed right in now. He was 3/10 quicker. No. What happened?
He was involved in the incident with Sergio.
Oh, dear. Oh, so I did see one of the CSR cars go off. And
yeah, he had nowhere to go and just had a little thump into the front of Kimi Larson.
Oh no, that's both of the Comrade Gaming cars out then. A disaster then, especially in such a short championship. That's is going to prove very difficult to overhaul, but certainly not impossible. We've seen how quickly the fortunes can change, very much in the blink of an eye. You know, people like Osterkamp can get it wrong, anybody can, and Valchiavi is now suddenly 2 seconds behind Alander, so he may have made a bit of a mistake, but he's 6 seconds clear of Josh Ladd in third, so he's not under immediate pressure. But Josh Ladd does not have a big gap, and there is third, fourth and fifth in that one shot there. We get to the chopper cam, as we go to the blimp cam, there we go, that is the battle for the last podium spot, and also in the shot you can see Olsen, Imre, Lindstrom, Herman, as these guys are coming through turn 12, heading towards Spoon. But this is a genuine battle for that last podium position. It also might be why Kessler is not willing to kind of back off. But that was also, Kessler was quicker than the leaders last time, I just realised. His personal best of a 140.5, which is only a couple of tenths quicker than Osterkamp's best. So there is pace in car 28, so he may not be willing to just let Osterkamp go.
No, and ultimately, if Kessler's got the pace and can take points off for last week's race, or last round's race winner, Valchiavi, that helps Rene. As long as, whilst ever Rene's scoring, and Valchiavi, okay, if he's ahead, as long as he's losing as little points as possible, that's good. And in regard to Valchiavi, he hasn't done anything wrong. His pace has been consistent. His last 5 laps have all been 40.8 or 40.9. It's more that Ultra has just turned it up a notch.
Dude,
from lap 10 to lap 11, he gained half a second. On the next lap, he was just a tenth off that. So that's very quick. Although I would say the gap has come back down again.
It has.
Maybe Alander has made a bit of a mistake this lap.
Oh dear, he's lost half of his lead, such as it is between the two teammates. I do wonder whether are they going to swap round? Bearing in mind they started the reverse positions that you see them now. Alander behind Valchiavi. Will they swap round towards the end of the race? That would be interesting to see. But Kessler is now on the back of Josh Ladd. That gap has come right down. Bearing in mind that Kessler was 8 tenths quicker than Josh Ladd last time around. Here he comes again. Now coming up to 130R. Is car 28 going to make a move? And look at the gap between Kessler and Osterkamp. So Osterkamp has either made a mistake again, someone just pushing a bit too hard, or he's just kind of managing things at the moment. Certainly not impossible. You know, once these tyres start to get a little bit tricky to manage, I think it was observed, I think you had the information last week, Stevie, that much like the GTE tyres, if these things overheat, they're very hard to get back again.
Yeah, so they are. That's what I was told. Is they're a bit like the GT tires, and if you do a big lockup or you spin or you light the rears up, it's that those tires are done for a long time. It's incredibly difficult to get them back into a good working range. It's usually that time a good time to do a pit, which all these guys have to do. The first of our pitters is Matteo Coppolaneri, that I can see, who obviously started from the pit lanes. That doesn't count. He'll have to do another one, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah. That's as much as he'd love to count that, sadly, will not be counted. He's currently in 14th position. There he is. Oh, he's having a lag moment on his own there, but it does look like Kessler and Osterkamp's closed back in again. So is Josh Land really beginning to struggle now? Because suddenly he's got a lot of pressure on him. On the nose of Kessler, Josh Land feeling the need to go hard to the inside of 130R. It's going to compromise his line. Here goes Kessler to the outside of the first part of the Cassia Triangle. And no, Josh Land does manage to close that door, but it will compromise him a little bit coming through the chicane now. And Osterkamp's coming in, so I was going to watch on board with René Osterkamp, but he's rather spoiled that one for me. Here comes the next two then.
This is bold from René because he could end up in traffic. But if this is costing him time, and it can. This is the thing when you have a teammate, because they can leave. Civil C can leave Patrick out to put pressure on Josh, but does Josh cover Patrick or does he cover René? Either way, one of them can get ahead here.
Where is René? René is still there. He goes. So René was stationary for about 7.9 seconds. We were seeing anywhere between sort of 6.5 and 8 seconds last time out. He's going to come out. There is Coppolaneri right behind him. Comes out in 13th position, 7 seconds-ish behind Butala. So he's got himself a bit of free air. But yeah, if he's going to lose time behind this battle for third, then yeah, he's timed that fairly well. Can you see the incident limit, or has no one got an incident at all?
We won't have instant limit just because Phil had to set the session up in a bit.
That's right. That explains what I was thinking. Wow, everyone is very clean.
No, unfortunately, we can't. We don't have. Oh, whereas Patrick runs a little bit wide at spoon. Very easy to do that. That would have
been two.
That would definitely would have been. Yeah, that's an easy one to pick up. No, unfortunately, we don't have. If someone just disappears, we'll have to assume they've disconnected or they've been disqualified.
Indeed. And quite a few people in the pits. Kimi Larson, of course, didn't survive his excursions. Darren Potter has been in the pits for nearly 2 minutes. We'd assume that he is not returning to
pits.
Josh
is choosing to cover René.
He was he locked up right before the pit speed limit line there. So if he has I think, is it a 10-second slam dunk stop go penalty if they speed in the pit lane?
Harsher, I think it's 15.
Oh, 15. So if he's in there for over 20 seconds, or about 25 seconds or so, then we know that he didn't get away with that. That's a very battered car. We can see a few cars back. He's back down off the jacks. No, he didn't. He did manage to slow that down in time. 7.2. Decent stop then. Is he going to beat Osterkamp out? There is René Osterkamp, so he does, but not by much. So René Osterkamp is, of course, up to speed. Finds himself once again behind car 43 as we are fast approaching the halfway stage of this race. Whilst a lot of this particular phase of the race has been fairly strategic, there's a lot of things that just could really boil over very, very quickly. And again, that's what we found last week in Nürburgring. You have that kind of management phase in the middle, and then it goes completely bonkers towards the end. So
I think we had like a 4 or 5 way battle at the end, and the podium positions were massively under pressure for the final podium position last week, round 1. So confusing that they rode an alternate weeks. This is amazing for Patrick Kessler now, because he's got a clear track, and we know he can do lap times that are incredibly quick. So we'll be interesting to see what he does now, because he could easily stay out and let René battle with Josh. Be interesting to see if he comes in. He doesn't. He stays out, so he's going for the longer strategy, the overcut.
Sergio Fletcher joins us in chat as well. A bit of a shame. His first AOR race sadly has not gone well. But Sergio was doing very well in his main race, right up there in 4th early on. But alas, that is the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, these things will bite you at any given moment. Erka Lindstrom is getting quite close to Stefan Hermann. That's about off a 6th. So car 179, Stefan Hermann, and 98 of Erkan Lindström. Erkan's not close enough to make a move, but he's close enough to keep the pressure on, and that can be very distracting, and that's not what you want at a circuit like Suzuka.
And Erkan's doing very well at the minute, to be fair. He's up quite a few places. He's up 9 places. Obviously, a few people have had issues that were pitted. But he was battling with Knut Martinsson earlier, and he's pulled a bit of a gap on him. He's running very well at the minute.
That he is. It's the closest battle towards the front that we have, although Stefan Hermann has broken away a little bit to Erkan Lindström at the moment. The lead car that's pitted is Josh Ladd, who's still got, there is René Oskam. You just saw him in the shot there. So it's going to be interesting to see if Josh can break away from that charging car 29. And still, I think as René Oskam has only just got the fastest lap by 0.06 of a second over Valtteri Alander. So that's where René should be. What did he do to the amazing spin he had? And I bet he was relieved he kept that out of the wall.
I've just noticed we have had a couple more casualties. We've lost Darren Potter, and we have lost Kerry Nolden.
Oh, what a shame.
I've just found him, and he's in the pit lane. I'm just trying to see what happened. I can't see it, I don't think, unfortunately.
Bit of a shame for him. So let's check in where everybody is, and as we are pretty much on the halfway point of the race. 17 laps gone, and Valtteri Alander leads his teammate Timu Vaikjavi, our pole sitter, by 2.6 seconds now. Our top 11 yet to pit. Patrick Kessler is reading in our top 2 slightly, or reeled in, was quicker than Alander by a couple of tenths and quicker than Timu by half a second. But he is still 6.9 behind. Presses on nonetheless. Gregory Olsen now up to 4th position. Pretty decent ever considering starting in 15th place. But finds himself 3 seconds behind Kessler and Evan Imre. Also taking advantage of other people's misfortunes. Up in 5th position. 6 seconds behind Olsen. Hermann in short order behind him. 1.5 seconds that separates those two. Then it's Erkan Lindström, 1.7 that separates Erkan and Stefan. So that gap beginning to increase a little bit as the laps continue to count down. Knut Martinsson in 8th, 3.5 seconds behind Lindström, rather minding his own business there. Sardov, who through consistency has got her way up to 9th position now. 3.5 seconds behind Knut Martinsson, very similar pace there. There you just saw at the top of the shot. Not a name I'm familiar with before this race, Lubomir Morik. In car number 66, finds himself in 10th position. The last car that hasn't pitted is this one, David Butelar. But that's Josh Ladd and René Osterkamp coming up behind him. That's an interesting, that's not typically what you want to see in your mirrors, is these two flying down the road. What's happened to Martinsson? He's in the pits, so Knut now bringing his car in on the halfway mark to get his mandatory pit stop out of the way, but Osterkamp continuing to pile the pressure on Josh. There is Josh jumping to the middle, trying not to give René Osterkamp the slipstream. But on they press then. Was the lap time difference between them? 0.3 to René's favour, so he is pressing on, but Josh Ladd is still lapping with impressive, leader-esque pace.
Absolutely, and I wonder as well if Josh was moving over just to appear a little bit more visible in that red car in the mirrors of David Butelar, just as like a hey, hi, coming through soon. But David's in no obligation to let him through. They are fighting for position.
Whoa, that's wide.
That was wide. And from much like with last week with the F3, is from what I've been told, the car will skid on that exit curve of Deggan 2. You will skateboard blind over that curve, and it loses you time to do that. If you run too wide, you'll pick them into the point, so you don't really want to be out there.
Looking at the back of Butelar, you can see just Josh Ladd all over the tail of car 7. I think you're absolutely right there. He's letting Butelar know, for goodness sake, I don't want to be held up behind you because of this charging yellow car right behind me.
And at the same time, Patrick Kessler is in the pit lane.
Whoa, my goodness me, Josh Ladd did not want to be held up there. Flies too on the inside of 130R. I'm not convinced Butelar let up any, because If he was going to bleed out of the throttle, you'd have expected him to fly backwards, but Josh Ladd did not want to lose any time whatsoever. Yep, Kessler is in along with... Who else has come in? Oh, the Stefan Hermann has come in as well. So through go the Ladd Osterkamp battle. That's Sarah Dove that's coming as well. So quite a few people. And Charlie Summers, where's he? He's coming through into 9th. He's been through the pits with that rather amazing pit lane entry we saw him do. And Stefan Herman's just coming out in 10th place. Go on.
Rene is very close to Patrick. They've come back out in the same order that they went in, but Rene is right on the back of Patrick. And I wonder whether there's going to be a "please let me go" request going through here.
Yeah, could well be. But Patrick Kessler, again, coming back to the best laps of these three, Josh Ladd, Patrick Kessler and Rene Osterkamp, their best laps are separated by only 0.2. 40.4 for Ladd, 40.5 for Kessler, and 40.3 for Osterkamp. So very, very similar pace. But Osterkamp will, of course, be catching Kessler at just the wrong moments. The point where he wants to, get his braking point right, get the slipstream right. But if he's getting, the dirty air at the wrong times, which he could well be, that is going to be disastrous for Osterkamp's charge.
Absolutely, and just for reference, these two have been teammates for a long time, and to my knowledge and to my memory, which can often let me down, and this looks like a move. Oh
no!
That doesn't look like a team order at all! That was a collision between the two of them! That is not what they wanted at all!
Oh dear,
they were lucky to survive that through such a fast corner!
Whoa.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I was watching Osterkamp as he struggled to get going again through the Cassia Triangle. That just undid itself so quickly. I'm not convinced Kessler was expecting Osterkamp to come through. Oh, 130. I don't really know what happened there. A bit of 50-50 perhaps. But that has probably completely halted Osterkamp's charge, looking at how much he struggled to get the power down. He looks very much slower coming through, much more cautious with this car. Coming through the S's, there must be damage on Osterkamp's car, looking at him now.
I'm having a look. I don't know what was happening. It looked like I just went back and watched it, and Osterkamp... Oh, I think Osterkamp just lit the rears up coming out of Cassia Triangle. There was a handful of opposite lock-on, and the revs shot up, so I don't know whether that was a lead foot and angry placement on the pedal. But it looked like Osterkamp, I just don't know whether he misinterpreted with the speed he gained, or just thought, he's letting me go. And then next thing, Kessler's turned in. And like I was going to say, just for reference, they're both previous champions. I think it's 3 champ drivers and 1 to Rene and 1 to... Patrick, but what's up?
So, Sarah Dove had a moment coming out of the S's and very nearly collected what I believe was Daniel Morris. That was that could have gone a little bit. Could have gone a bit wrong for her.
We've got quite a few people up quite a lot of places at the minute, which is good to see. We've got Evan Imre and Lubomir Morris in the pits as well.
Yeah.
Gregory Olsen's in. It's just the 2 leaders, it looks like.
It is!
Yeah.
Now, I hope they don't befall... Who was it got disqualified last time?
Soren Cruz, who remembered to pit because he pitted on lap 1.
Yeah.
When he may have had an issue.
Oh, Evans back out in 8th. That's worked out very well then for car 147. Morrick is coming out, just getting off the pit lane limiter now, but he's going to have Reed... No, Reed's quad. Oh, no, there is Phil Reed. So he's going to come out in 12th. Not bad for him, but that's worked out very nicely for Evan Imre. Charlie Summers is now fairly close to Rene Osterkamp. So if Rene's got a problem, Charlie Summers, with the pace he's shown, could well pounce pretty quickly.
Absolutely, and if Rene's got any damage on that car, Charlie, I'm sure, will be quite willing to make up for that with his not lesser damaged car, I think.
Olsen is not far off the back of Kessler either.
We're going to have a move, I think, between Stefan Hermann and Evan Imre. Evan went very wide at the hairpin, and he's going to set Stefan up a treat towards Spoon, I think.
Oh, he's not even waiting for there. He's going for the outside of turn 12. Oh, that's brave. And Evan braked very early. He knew that Hermann was alongside. Now, either Evan let him go, or he just realised that move was done. and let him go. So that is Stefan Ehrmann now up to 8th position in his charging car. Olsen is still keeping Kessler for company, and still our lead 2 not interested in pitting. They are continuing just to pretty much mind their own business up front. I want to see the lap times for Osterkamp and Charlie Summers now that they've had a decent run, so to speak. And for Osterkamp, 41.8. Oh, a full second slower than Summers. Oh dear, I suspect there's damage on that car. Again, looking at how careful Osterkamp was coming through the S's, and after that incident, I reckon he's got damage.
It could very well be. I'm gonna have a little look and see if I can see any mixing between them in terms of damage. If I compare them straight, I'll compare visual side by side, but I can't see anything. But these cars, if they're anything like the 2.0, they can be so fragile. You can easily damage the floor, and if you do, you're in trouble.
Absolutely. So Summers then bearing down on Rene Osterkamp. Just ahead of them. Only 2 seconds separates Osterkamp and Olsen. Olsen is battling with Kessler. I think Olsen came out of the pits last time around. So his last lap was 2 minutes. Oh, Alanda's in, I think. No, he's not. Just my overlay going. Oh, Alanda's made a mistake, is he? No, no. I think that there was a lag moment there because suddenly it showed us Valchiavi being 4/10 behind. It's 4 seconds. So, oh, here comes Summers on the back of Osterkamp. Look how quickly he's gained. So that's either damage on Osterkamp's car, or that was most certainly a DRS moment there for Charlie Summers. Flew past on the inside, but Osterkamp's not willing to let that go just yet. Oh, that was close coming through the Cassia triangle. Charlie Summers now up to 6th. Pit stop served, and through he goes. He's not feeling comfortable, though. He's gone straight to the defensive line. Here comes Osterkamp getting what slipstream he can. Bit of a lag moment there for Charlie Summers. And Charlie cannot get that move done coming into the first turn just yet, but I would imagine that Charlie now is just going to stretch his legs. And 41.3 for, I beg your pardon, that was Greg Olsen. Yeah, 42.1 for Osterkamp last time around. That is undoing at a rapid rate of knots.
Yeah, I think Rene's really struggling, but he still wasn't going to let Charlie just have that position.
Nope.
And this is an incredible drive from Charlie. Okay, he had the mistake in the pit lane, but he started at the very, very back. He's up, how many places is that? 18 places? This is amazing.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, you got to think that he was up into the top 10 by the end of lap 3 or something. It was amazing how quickly, I don't know if it was quite that quick, but it was within the first quarter of the race, Charlie Summers was already well within the top 10 and looked set to really close. He's got 2.1 seconds to get towards Olsen, who's only 1.2 behind Kessler. So there's another couple of positions very much easily for the taking. But up front, the 2 leaders are just gone.
Yeah, but we do have one of them in. Valchiavi has pitted. Bringing his car in now.
Well, that was quick. Well, that was 6.9 he was stationary for. Out he comes. Was 30-something seconds between the 2. And there is Josh Ladd. My goodness. That's 5 seconds between the 2. Actually.
The gap is not that big. I thought it would be bigger. It's not like it was in Nürburgring, when Valtteri and Rene were pulled like 30 seconds on the rest of the grid.
True, because Alanda, of course, still has to come in. There's 35 seconds between Valchiavi and Alanda. I think it was 4 before he pitted, so assuming a 32 second pit lane loss. So Alanda should come out again quite comfortably in the lead, unless he has an ups moment. Oh, I'll tell you who else is in the battle. Phil Reed. He's on the back of Lubomir Morik for 12th position. Our Pad Warrior, car 44, is right on the back of car 66. Lapping, good 6/10 quicker. Phil Reed doing his personal best last time around of 41.0. So there's a potential forming there. Osterkamp still within the second of Summers, but I think that gap's just going to continue to increase. I don't think he's really going to be able to challenge that. So Charlie Summers 2.5 seconds to close down to Gregory Olsen, who is still within a second of Kessler. So still lots of battling going on. Where is our race leader? He's in the S's again. He's still not interested in coming into the pit. He's quite happy to run around out there on his own.
Yeah, he's just enjoying the track to himself. And then they say this is a track that the drivers love. And then I'm sure there with a car that I'm sure he's enjoying driving, he's just in a bit of a rhythm. As long as he pits before the last lap, he's absolutely fine.
Indeed. I was just jumping through a few people there. Quite a few people had lag moments. I was wondering if someone had gone off, but no such thing. There is the gap between Osterkamp and Summers. So again, this Osterkamp cannot get his lap times below 141.6 now, 141.5. So let's go. What a shame! That must just add to the frustration. You know you're quicker, but through one mistake, and it was quite a silly mistake, unfortunately, between yourself and his teammate as well. The golden rule: never hit your teammate. That just must be, that really must be testing the kind of mental fortitude of René Osterkamp. That was tested already once with that amazing off he had in the first half of the race, heading towards the first turn, or first turn wall, I should say, and then managed to get right back on the pace straight away, and he lost a couple of positions at the time. This must really be testing for how well he can just keep himself settled.
Absolutely, but he's had worse, I'm sure, and he's had worse races. He's still running, he's still in the points, he's scoring good points, okay? He's losing out a bit compared to his championship rival, I think, who is in the pit lane, as now Valtteri Alander. He's decided to pay his pit crew a visit. They were getting a little lonely. But yeah, he knows you've just got to pick up the points where they come, because it's so easy, as we've seen from a few drivers, where you make a mistake and you don't manage to survive it, or someone else makes a mistake and that's it, you're done. You don't get the bonus that you do in the F3 league, where you get that sprint race to make up some points if it all goes wrong. Here you get one chance, and if it goes wrong, that's it, it's gone wrong. So I'm sure he'll be not best pleased, especially as it was, as we said, with his teammate, but I think he can still be happy that he's had two major or pretty big incidents and he's still going and he's still in the point.
Indeed, as Valtteri Alander comes out with that 5-second lead, still intact. There was just 0.1 of a second between the pit lane stop time for Valchiavi and Alander. 6.9 for Valchiavi and 7 for Alander. How long they were stationary for. So absolutely incredible consistency. It is going to take something quite amazing to see them off into the dust, I think.
Well, as we've seen, anyone can make a mistake here.
Oh, yes. Charlie Summers has closed down that gap to Gregory Olsen to less than 2 seconds and increased the gap between himself and Osterkamp, who you've just seen at the top of the shot, to about 2 seconds now. René Osterkamp getting 41.3, which is about as best as he's managed to do with the damage that he seems to be carrying. There you see in the shot, Olsen and Kessler. Charlie Summers is coming. Car 350 wants to get involved in that particular battle. That is what he can see. Less than a quarter of the race remains. We've gone 26 laps so far here at Suzuka. It's long enough for fatigue to begin to really settle in. I mean, bearing in mind these guys were in, or most of them at least, were in an hour-long practice session before this race started. Then the 10-minute qualifying before that. He's just been, for the most part, for a lot of these, just absolutely flat out for a very long time. A lot of these are seasoned endurance races, I grant you, but to be, just on the limit, especially when you're really trying to fight up front. Oh, has Kessler made a mistake somewhere? No, Kessler's just lost 7/10 in that last lap. But suddenly I notice Olsen is right on his case. So whilst they fight, Charlie Summers is coming.
Oh, absolutely, and Charlie will fight to the very bitter end. He is going to give it everything till the very end of the race. Phil Reed is quite close as well to Lubomir now. He may have a run into turn 1.
It would be brave.
It would be, but we've seen Phil be brave before.
He went for that. He had to think about it, but at the very last second, Morick shut that door. Phil committed to the line. But I think he anticipated that door being closed when it did, because he got out of that at the right time. But keeping an eye on Olsen, battle for 4th. Josh Ladd is gone. He's 8 seconds up the road, so the podium is very much out of the question unless someone makes a colossal mistake. Josh Ladd, actually, he's just set the fastest lap of the race. I just
Yes,
realised.
he has.
Yeah, 440.312. So, yeah, there is pace out there yet. And if Valchiavi and Alanda take it a little bit too easy up front, it was a fair old gap for him to close down. But there's still time on the clock. As we keep saying, this the potential for mistake is very, very high. So it is not done. No one's position is particularly safe.
Absolutely
Unless you're out already.
Yeah, if you're out already, that's not great.
Yeah, but it's safe. It won't change.
It's true. It's true. It's not going to say. I have to say, Gregory Olsen, I think, is a bit of an unsung hero today. He started 15th. He's up 10 places, and he's holding his own against drivers that should or were that qualified much higher. Now, Patrick Kessler qualified in 8th. Charlie probably would have been within the top 10 easier with the pace he's shown. And Gregory's moved his way up brilliantly into the top 5, and it's kind of gone unnoticed until these final few laps.
Phil Reed on the inside of turn 1 on Lubomir Morik, and that is job done. It's been coming for a while from car 44, but he has managed to get the move done. That's 12th then for Phil Reed. He's got 6.8, 6.9 to close down to Knut Martinsen. That's probably going to be a bit too much with 11 minutes remaining. That move is done. Can he hold on to it? But again, keeping an eye on Olsen. He's lost a couple of tenths out of the hairpin. There is Charlie Summers. He's under a second now.
Oh no! Josh Ladd's made a mistake!
Oh no! What's happened to Josh Ladd?
He's spun at Spoon, I think.
Let's have a look. So, where do we pick him up? Pick him up coming through turn 12, heading down towards Spoon. He did have a pretty healthy nose. There was the commentator's curse. And no, there he goes. It was indeed a half spin, but he's come to a stop nowhere near the wall. But that's cost him a colossal amount of time. And that could well put Kessler, Olsen and Summers right on his case if he's not careful.
Absolutely. He's lucky that he had the gap that he did, but he will not want to do that again.
Most certainly not. Certainly not. And there you go. You can actually see the 4 cars we're talking about in the shot. And of course, the minute that Kessler, Olsen and Summers see that, they're staring at a potential podium. So he lost 5 seconds in that last lap alone. Kessler's slightly quicker than Olsen, but Summers is charging once again. 140.4 for car 350. He's going to be within striking distance of Olsen. If not this lap, then most certainly the next at that kind of pace difference. Less than 10 minutes to go. And once again, it is the action is starting to heat up once more.
Oh, it's great. I love this. It's awesome. And I wonder as well how Josh's tyres are going to cope now. If what I've been said is true and the setup can't counter it, if his tyres are overheating, he's going to have a pretty rough lap coming up. Hopefully after the lap it'll calm down, but if he could struggle this lap.
Indeed. And but once again, we've seen how well he can defend. So we could well see him he's going to have to. He's going to defend like hell to keep these 3 charging cars behind. But we will see. There's only going to be another few laps to go. We've got 6 laps after this one. Potentially to go. Here comes Summers. He's within 7 tenths of Gregory Olsen now. So he's going to be getting the slipstream effect from car 55 ahead of him. He won't get it quite yet, but he's positioning himself to really capitalise on it. So Gregory Olsen, is he going to let him go, or is he going to fight for the position? You would think he's got to fight, surely.
Oh, absolutely. I this late in the race, you're absolutely going to fight. And just to prove me wrong, Josh Lapp responded with a 140.3, which is on par with fastest lap of the race. So here's what I know.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was again amazing kind of fortitude to just calm himself down, because I've done it myself. The few league races I've done, you make a mistake, you just completely lose. Well, I do. I completely lose the rhythm, and it takes a while for me to kind of settle down and get back into it. These guys, no, bam, straight back on the gas, straight back in the saddle. But this battle is getting good.
No fear. They have no fear. Something that I like to point out as well, and something that I wish we could see, but we can't. DRS, as said earlier, they get 8 in a race. That's it. They can use it anytime they like. There's no prerequisites. You don't have to be within a second. There's no limit on where you can use it on track. You get 8 in the race. I'm willing to bet Charlie's used most, if not all of his, getting to where he is now. I wonder how many Patrick and Gregory have left to defend with.
That is the golden question, and as Olsen has now actually extended the gap slightly between himself and Summers, as the blimp camera for me gets behind the trees, and he's now starting to get back on Patrick Kessler's case. So Patrick can't just relax. He can't assume that Olsen's going to fall into the clutches of Summers. Now out of 130 into the Cassia Triangle. He has a look, but he's too far back. But he's positioning himself for a lunge into the first turn, I think. He's going to be a bit further back than he'd like, but you could see, look how early Kessler goes to that defensive line, jumps back to the racing line. He's fairly confident that Olsen's too far back at the moment, and Summers has fallen out of that kind of 6/10, that crucial zone where the drag. Oh, a bit of a twitch there for Kessler. Where the slipstream is at its most effective, Summers is slightly outside of that, and both Olsen and Summers getting a 40.7 last time around. So Olsen's got the pace to keep Charlie Summers at bay, but does he have the laps? As you can see, we have 5 laps remaining here at Suzuka.
Absolutely, and like I say, Patrick's he knows how to defend a position. Apparently a bit too well against his teammate. Whether intentional or not, I don't think there was anything shifty between them, I should clarify. But yeah, Patrick's not going to give up a position. Okay, he missed the first round, but he's still here to fight. And if Gregory's got the pace and wants that 4th place, he's going to have to earn it. And if anything goes wrong, I'm sure Charlie will welcome that 4th place with open arms.
Oh, well and truly. And, as you say, Josh Ladd is settled down a little bit, 141.5. So, he's not pushing too hard. He doesn't want to repeat the same mistake we saw him do a lap ago. And again, with only 5 laps remaining, you don't have time on your side to recover from a mistake. Here we go again. Olsen getting into the slipstream of Kessler. Charlie Summers is now a second behind. So I think you were probably right with the DRS thing. He's used them all up. Oh, Olsen! Oh, no! He's got Cassia Triangle all wrong. And he just had to slam on the brakes. He didn't feel like he could control it, and through goes Summers.
Like I said, and I said it last week, and I say it again, this track bites. It is not kind to you. It's a great track. It's got brilliant corners. It will not let you make little mistakes. It will punish you every single time. Fortunately for Gregory, he only lost 1 position, but he'll be kicking himself. And he's still right there with Charlie, but he'll be kicking himself. He's now so much... It's 1 place, but it's so much further away from that 4th.
Guess who's completely mullered the fastest lap?
Is it the race leader?
Correct. 140.0.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, you'd think with the gap he has, nearly 8 seconds after his teammates, you'd think he might back off, look after the car, make sure he gets it. No! That was a 40.1. That's a 10th of his previous, the last best. Yeah,
that's the thing, is that... But that's risky. I mean, he wants this race done. He wants the win. I get that. But you're risking it because we've seen repeatedly how easy it is for a mistake to kick in. And this car is not forgiving when it comes to trying to catch a mistake. So, I mean, if he throws that in the wall, it's done. No matter how long you led for, if you can't bring it home, it's all for naught.
Absolutely, and I'm willing to bet that if he makes a mistake, even if he keeps going, if he makes a mistake but Timu gets through, I think Timu might be a little bit less willing to let him go with 2 laps to go, pretty much 3 laps to go. Sorry. It's a bold move, but that's the thing with this with getting in a flow around a track is you're kind of sometimes better to just stay in your rhythm, even if it's at a much higher pace than you need to be running. Is if you back off and you think, I don't need to push, then you're out of the rhythm. You're thinking about it, and that's when mistakes can sometimes happen.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 to go. Valtteri Alander leads by 8.2 over his teammate, who leads Josh Ladd by nearly 10 seconds. Then it's this 3-way battle here, Kessler, Summers and Olsen. Less than a second between the 3 of them. And it is Osterkamp who's fallen to 5.6 behind that battle. Damage limitation for him. There is Stefan Herman, who is running a similar kind of pace. And Evan Imre in 9th. He's up from where he started. Was running pretty well pre-pit stop, so a solid race for him. And it is Lindstrom. There's Knut Martinsson, so not much between them. Martinsson closed in half a second on Lindstrom. He may begin to challenge for that 10th position. Then Phil Reed, 7 seconds behind them, still has Lubomir Morik for company. And Daniel Morris, haven't really seen a great deal of him in this race. And Davy Butelar rounds out our top 15.
And just behind David Butelar, actually, is Sarah Dove. She's just within the clusters. I don't know whether she's got time to make this move, but she's looking like she's eyeing that top 15.
Oh yeah, right with Butelar. It is possible. It is certainly there for the taking. Penultimate lap then. And this is where the pressure really can mount as well. Despite the fact that people have that comfortable lead. I thought we'd lost Charlie Summers for a second there, but no, there was a lag moment. You may well have that sensible lead, but these guys know how difficult these cars are. They know where the potential for mistakes are. So that can add a little bit more pressure on their own shoulders. So again, it comes down to how well they manage pressure, their own mental discipline.
Absolutely, and I think if Charlie gets half a shot on Patrick, he's going to go for it. He's had such a tremendous drive, and I know Charlie a little, having raced with him for a couple of seasons. This guy is rapid, and he equally will go for it as much as he can. As we've seen, he's at 19 place. So I think he's within 6/10 now. If he gets a shot, I think he'll go for it. And that's just how some drivers are, whereas you may get others that are a little bit more reserved and consistently can pick up those same brilliant results.
Indeed. Have we lost Sarah Dove? No, we haven't. This is my overlay just playing it there. So Charlie pushing with everything he's got. Patrick just has got to hang on for one more lap. That's all there is left here in Suzuka. And still Valtteri Alander is just pushing the sub-41s. He's not letting anything to chance. He wants as big a gap as he can possibly get up front. There is that three-way battle. Summers is just about within slipstream range of the car ahead. It's not going to pay off anything at the moment. If he's got any DRS left, now is the time to, or this lap is the time to use it. If not, he's just going to have to try and force a mistake for Patrick Kessler. Gregory Olsen is not far behind either. So again, one mistake could undo that one. Knut Martinsson is getting within striking range of Erke Lindstrom to get himself in the top 10 as well. And Sarah Dove is not far off. They're actually side by side coming into the Casio Triangle. She wants to get into the top 15. So there is still battles right the way to the flag.
Absolutely, it's what we like to see, battles up and down. I think Erke made a little bit of a mistake last time round. But Sarah Dove, she's going to go for the move. She's side by side with Butelar down the pitch straight. She's got DRS. She's probably using it. And into turn one, it's difficult to go side by side with there, but she's done it through two.
She has indeed. Where is our race leader? He's coming down to the Casio Triangle. Well, once again, Valtteri Alander finds himself towards the sharper end. I did wonder whether he was going to swap with his teammate because his teammate was the pole man. No such luck. Your winner here in Suzuka for the Formula Renault 3.5 League is car number 10, Valtteri Alander, by nearly 10 seconds from his own teammate, Timo Valkjavi. Here he comes, car number 70, takes the second podium spot. Josh Ladd, what a solid result for him. Car 43 started fourth and rounds out the podium. Nicely done. But here is Kessler, manages to fend off Charlie Summers, holds on to fourth. Then Summers chases him all the way to the grass. So yeah, they're still going. Fair enough. Why not? I suppose.
Absolutely. They're still battling. Knut Martinsson and Erke Lindstrom were battling down towards the triangle, but I think Erke's managed to just hold him off. One more up, and Knut might have had a go there.
Yeah. So Charlie Summers takes the fifth. Olsen 6th, Osterkamp finishes 7th, Herman 8th, Evan Imre crosses the line in 9th place, 10th was Erke Lindstrom, 11th Knut Martinsson, 12th was Phil Reed, Lubomir Morik in 13th, Morris 14th position. Sarah Dove hangs on to the top 15 position. Then it is Butalar taking 17, starting from the pit lane. So a solid effort. Didn't really see a lot of Matteo Coppolaneri. Oh, as he's lagged out there. He'll reappear. There he is. Just coming over the line. That's a lot of lag on.
Yeah, he that's why he started from the pit lane, because he was having some connection issues. So he's just stayed out of everyone's way. But he's managed to do that and still get a points finish. So good to him.
Indeed, and everybody pitted this time. And the rest of our runners sadly didn't see the flag. So that's Nolden, Potter, Larson, Fletcher, Gadamer, Holstein, Krutz, and, has to be said, Chambers as well.
I don't know. That Chambers guy, he should really do better than that. He didn't even see him on track.
No, he didn't even bother, did he? Well.
Unfortunately not.
Shall we see who we can find? Is anyone wanting to talk to us?
At the minute, no, but they tend to take a couple of minutes.
They do. They don't use Discord to race with. That's absolutely fine. It's not mandatory. Let's have a look at the result then. There it is. The confirmed result. Valtteri Alander is your winner. Valkyrie 2, Ladd 3, Kessler 4, Summers 5, Olsen 6th, Osterkamp 7, Herman 8, Evan Imre 9, Lindstrom rounds out the top 10, Martinson 11, Reed 12, then Moritz 13, Moritz and Morris 13, 14, Dove 15, Butalar 16, Coppolaneri 17, and the rest, as we said, are non-finishers.
And the one thing, and if Alander is a perfectionist, then the only thing just to ruin the night is he didn't quite get pole. He missed it by just a few hundredths of a second, and he's dominated the race. He's easily got the fastest lap. He's won the race and just lost out to his teammate in qualifying.
But he did break 140 as the fastest lap on that last lap as well. 139.5. Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, that's pretty good. You don't need me to tell you he's good. He's won the first 2 rounds of this championship. This is the third way through now. It's only 6 rounds, like we said. And talking about race leader, he is ready for him.
Oh, drag him in. And there he is. Well, Mr. Alander. Have fun out there, did you?
Yeah, very, very much. It was, well, the first stint was awful. I don't know why, but the second one was much better.
So, we did wonder, because you and Valkyrie just disappeared, ran off. And you just looked in complete control. Was there any kind of plan heading into this, or were you pretty confident that you were going to be able to control the pace up front?
No, we didn't have any plan. Just pull away and do our own race. So, and that worked out pretty well. So, great result for the team.
So last week it was you and Osterkamp that ran off into the distance. This time it was you and your teammate. So. Is this what we're going to see for the rest of the season, or is there some races you're less looking forward to?
I really can't say. There's like a new track for me, the Virginia Raceway, so I haven't raced there, so I need to learn that. But let's see. I hope it will continue like this.
I imagine you do.
It sounds to me like he doesn't want to give anything away.
And who can blame him? Who can blame him? Well done, Valtteri. We look forward to the rest of the season. Great effort, very well driven, and wow, your pace, particularly as the lap counter went on, was even more impressive. So great race, well done, and we look forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks.
No one else wants to make themselves available, which is fine. It's certainly not mandatory, but it is nice to get the thoughts and views of our drivers as the race concludes. Anybody else?
It doesn't look like it. Let me ask you a question, KK.
Please do.
Who was your driver of the day?
Ooh, there's several candidates really. I mean, Valtteri Alander, of course, being the clear fastest person by an absolute mile. Charlie Summers starting towards the back and just pressuring the whole way. yeah, those are the people I'm kind of looking at. But there was several examples of people really driving out of their skin. I've got to hand it to Alanda though, because there was just no one was in his league.
Yeah, it's the second race we've seen from it of this ability to not just lead, but lead under pressure, like we saw in round one with Rene, who was so much closer than we saw Valchiave today. Rene made a few mistakes towards the end, but that consistency at two very different tracks is, I think, going to be a little bit of an alarm to the rest of the grid. I'm going to say Charlie Summers.
Yeah.
Because to come from that far back to finish 5th with a backwards in the pit lane, or nearly a backwards in the pit lane, I should say, that was, I think that was very impressive.
I wonder if he knows just how close he was to broadsiding the pit wall. Because that was close. That was...
Well, I know he races in VR, so I bet that was quite scary.
Yeah, just to see this just chunk of wall coming towards you at an angle that you know you can't do anything about, just hoping. That's assuming he has his eyes open at that point. I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh! Hoping with everything I got.
There would have been many screams.
Yes, not stream friendly, I suspect.
Oh no, I've had the neighbours ringing me up and going, "Are you okay?"
It doesn't look like anybody wants to make themselves, anyone else I should say, wants to make themselves available for interview. It's fine. They've been going quite a long time and are probably quite tired, so I think we will call it here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for the stream. It's been a great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much, Stevie, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. It is always a great pleasure to have you alongside me, sir.
Thank you very much. It's always an honour to sit alongside you and talk over these races. They're always very good fun. On Monday, we have the return of the GTE League after its 2-week break because of Christmas and New Year. There's no excuse for family stuff now. You've had enough time. You can wait and 12 months to see them again. No, we are at the Nordschleife, which is the combined layout. Wow. They've had 3 weeks or so to practice. There's no excuse. I'm terrified and I'm only commentating.
That's going to definitely be a war of attrition, I think.
Yeah, it's slightly a different format next week. It's a 40-minute qualifying session, just because it's the Nordschleife. So there will be no practice. We'll probably have to start a little bit earlier next week, on Monday, sorry, if that's possible. With the same length race, 1 hour and 20 minutes. And then Friday next week, we have round 3, halfway point for the F3 League, and we have Brands Hatch GP.
Fabulous. That should be amazing to see.
And then
No, carry on.
That's it. And then in 2 weeks' time, we have the third round of this series as another British track, my local one, which is Donington Park.
Ooh, that's tight and bumpy. That's going to be fun in these things.
Absolutely.
So, yes, that's a lot to look forward to. And, of course, the various other leagues that happen over here at AOR. Do stay with us. There's a lot to see. Thank you very much to our drivers for putting on an incredible show. Once again, it is always a great pleasure to commentate for them. But for now, thank you very much. We will see you next time. Thank you very much, and good night.